Hey everybody, my name's Oli. I'm a Freeletics ambassador from the UK.
And this is, man, it's been a while, man. I don't know.
Yeah, who is this
This
guy?
is Angelo, a Freeletics ambassador from United States.
Oh, that was beautiful. Welcome back to series 2 of the Shaped by Gods podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yes, welcome back everybody. We are back for another season of the Shaped by Gods podcast. We smashed out season 1. We decided to take a little break after there was actually quite a natural break for both of us, wasn't it, Angelo? Things were going on. Someone was getting married, things got real crazy, and I think it felt like a natural time to take a little break of a few weeks. How have you been, man? How's married life treating you so far?
Hello there, everybody. Thank you for thank you for having me. It's been a while, man. I missed this thing. I missed it so much, and people missed it too. And I'm so happy. Like, I'm so excited. I'm so nervous. I'm so inspired.
Nervous. You said nervous. Do you know what's weird? I felt a little bit nervous. I felt a little bit nervous to get this going again. I think we got into such a flow, and we did 14, 15 episodes in a row. So it became quite normal. But yeah, I felt a bit nervous today. Getting this back going. There's nothing to be nervous about. Obviously, everything we talk about is often opinion based, so you can't be wrong with your opinion. But I felt the nerves, but the excitement, the overriding excitement, and especially seeing as since we last spoke, I've not been very well. I've had a tough time with various different ailments and illnesses, but I'm starting to feel good. So I'm so excited to start feeling like myself again, and I can't think of a better way than to get back on here with you and start talking life and talking freeletics and talking
Can't wait.
Personal development.
I couldn't wait anymore. I said, come on, Oli, let's go, man.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. It's beautiful. So happy we can do this. And
I couldn't be happier. So if I'm completely honest, during the last few weeks where I've not been very well, and I've been a bit overwhelmed by everything really, but I've sort of been in and out of the community. I've been keeping an eye on it, but I've not really had a huge I've not really contributed much as far as speaking to people is concerned, as much as I've been keeping an eye on what everyone's been up to. Everyone's been so consistent during this time, but like I said, I've been quite quiet. So how is everyone? How's the community doing, man? What are you reading from the community right now?
Life gets away in everybody, many people, I think took a pause for a little bit from the workouts, and because they had things to do, like I did, you did. It happens, people need to understand this is a natural thing. It's happening to everybody. You can plan your whole year, like day by day, hour by hour, what are you gonna do, but something is gonna come up, something is gonna mix up everything, and you're gonna get off your path for a little bit, but they remain very strong. I really like it. People keep inspiring each other by sharing the daily codes, what they've done, what they are about to do. They keep texting, I'm gonna work out now, I'm gonna work out in an hour, I'm doing my workout now, guys wish me luck or best of luck or whatever. And it's really nice. It's a warm community, always the Freeletics community. And I see people on Reddit, I see people on Instagram, Facebook, all the pages worldwide. They're doing really good, and I love it. It's like when because I had my wedding, I got married, and there were so many things going on, about preparing the house, preparing the place for the event, always working at the same time, workouts at the same time. And it was really nice seeing people that, some people that were saying some people lost, friends and relatives from COVID and everything, but they kept pushing. And it's powerful, man. It's powerful. Like waking up, because the good thing with the different time zones is when you wake up, it's not like everybody's waking up at these moments. Some people are, 7 hours ahead, 10 hours, 12 hours, and you see they've done the workout already. So you always getting inspired. And waking up, and just seeing people doing the workout, say, okay, I have to go and do my workout. Everybody's doing great. Long story short, everybody's doing great.
Good. Yeah, that's really cool to hear, man. I think obviously within the community there are some really consistent. Do you know what it can be? It can be. I was going to say deceiving, but that sounds like the wrong word. But there are some people that are very consistent with sharing their progress and sharing their, the exercise they've done today, or whatever coach workouts they've done. There are definitely some people that are very, very active at sharing, but that doesn't mean that there aren't hundreds and thousands of people that are every day doing their workout. It's really interesting, actually. They've got Freeletics have got a new is it a program, would you say, with the ambassadors, where what they've done is they've brought all the ambassadors together in such a way that it seems to have sparked a lot more activity from a lot of the ambassadors. There's a lot more content being uploaded, and it's great to see. I've seen some really cool stuff. I mean, some of them take some really, really decent photography, but there's always, other than the picture that is shared on social media, there's some really, really valuable content in the text, in the writing that they're putting, the comments underneath the pictures. There's some really valuable stuff, and I think showing that you are being accountable for yourself, and you're keeping yourself going, and you're keeping up with your workouts. Yes, it's one thing to be able to post a really cool picture or video on your timeline, but a lot of I hope everyone's reading the messages, the comments below, because there's some really valuable stuff, and people are sharing some priceless experience and priceless information underneath there. It's really cool. It took me so I'll go into what's been happening with me lately, and then I can get on with it and move past it. So it started. I got a little cold from Lara. Everyone knows who Lara is, my little monster. So I got a little cold, and that seemed to develop into a full-blown ear infection. So that took me out. I ended up in the emergency room, actually, because the pain was crazy and I didn't know what was going on. But after that I ended up on some medication for that, and it cleared up after a day. But that seemed to last for, the pain was maybe 1 or 2 days, but I wasn't able to hear. It just felt like something was in that ear for the whole time. But I know there wasn't, because my partner's actually an audiologist. She had a look in there. There's nothing in there, but she was able to see what was wrong with it. Anyway, one thing led to another, and then after that sort of started clearing up. I still couldn't hear very well in that ear at all, and it still goes a little bit now. And it's been about 2-3 weeks now. But then I caught another little cold, and that seemed to completely take me out of the game for another week. But what that does, and I know a lot of people have got the same experience, it only takes a little break for whatever reason from your exercise for you to feel like it's almost impossible to get that ball rolling again. And it goes from one point where you are physically feeling like you're unable to do it, to there's a little turnaround point where the physical side of it is one thing, but then all of a sudden there's a mental barrier as well. So you've had that little period of time, and you develop a fear, or you develop I guess habits form, even in that short amount of time. When you're not trying to form a habit, you get into a little routine of not doing it, and then it's really hard to get that going again. So the last few days have been, we were doing our journeys. We started journeys at the same time. I've just reached Hell Week, so my plan was to try and recover from all the craziness that was going on in time for Hell Week, and Hell Week has started today. So that's a little bit earlier than I wanted, but I saw a post from the US Ambassador Corey Law. He started his Hell Week today, and just seeing the words day one Hell Week on his Instagram feed, it really it fired me up to think, and you know as well as I do, it's not always about PBs. If you can get through Hell Week when you're not feeling 100%, then you can conquer, you can conquer a lot in the future. So I took the approach of I'm going to take on Hell Week. Usually Hell Week's about PBs, but I'm making it something different for myself this time. I'm going to make it, that is the start of my full recovery. So speaking of Hell Week, I'll just tell you which I had 2 times mania today, which having been off for a little while, I think the main thing that suffered is probably my cardio levels. The strength has sort of suffered a little bit, but the cardio levels, they've probably fallen off a little bit more than the strength. So mania it's all about strength. That's not a heavy cardio workout. It's different variations of push-ups, and it's different variations of squats, lunges, and squat jumps. So I felt comfortable enough to take my time with that, and just get through that without worrying about having to be. You say if I came back and it was something like Dion or Dione, or however we pronounced it before.
Dione.
That's the one. I think if it was something with a lot, with a lot of burpees on it, it might have been a little bit harder to get through. But I'll have to. I haven't even checked to see what. Oh yeah, I know exactly what's come up next. Okay, so today was 2 times mania, and as you know, Hell Week it's 7 consecutive days of really tough workouts.
Yeah.
So tomorrow is 3 times Poseidon, which is, that's tough. But again, it's something.
That's a game. That's a game in a hometown. That's
exactly.
It. You have this one.
Exactly. Poseidon is my go-to. It's my favorite. So I felt quite lucky to have gotten that one after mania. So I know I can get through that one, and then hopefully we're back on track. It only takes a few, as you know. It only takes a few days in a row where you're consistent and you get it back on, and all of a sudden, all that fear and anxiety and that weakness that you were feeling in the first workout, all of that starts to fade, and you're back on track. So what's your current status Freeletics wide? Are you between journeys? Did you finish your weights free gain?
No, not yet. I'm a little bit more behind than you are. I'm on session 33 right now. I think so, right? Yeah, session 35. So 35. I have 13 more. So six more to get to the Hell Week. So another week. So I'm a week behind. And then I'm gonna have my Hell Week. I'm doing some other. I was doing some other stuff in between because I wanted to improve. I have a race that I want to run, an obstacle race. I want to run in August, and I want to improve my running. So sometimes I skip the coach and I just go for a run. I do like an hour and a half running.
Again, that's
so
fine.
When I'm coming back, I do something small, something from coach. I do something very small, and then just getting ready, for work, taking a shower, eat something, go for work, and then come back. So sometimes that's why I'm staying behind, because I have to add the miles, the kilometers to my legs to get ready for it. So that's the main reason I'm skipping coach, because I don't have enough time. It's either run or it's either do the coach. So twice a week I'm I'm adding my running. So I'm
That's
just
cool.
staying a little bit behind.
I think that makes sense, because if you've got if you've got specific goals, you've got targets there, you've got something that you're actually training for. So you know you need to be focusing on something that's going to benefit that event that you've got coming up. I think that's probably the best approach. Have you been tempted to put your weight-free gain journey on hold and perhaps try the hybrid running, or where it's a combined running or coach day? Before you answer, I'll answer me in a second. What I will say about those journeys is like you said, if you've got the choice between either getting your coach journey or your running in, and I know how busy your schedule is, so you really have to be careful of what you do. So, you know, you have to be careful of how much time you've got to spend doing that, and then making sure you get everything you need in. So how would that compare? How would what you're doing now compare to perhaps a hybrid running journey, do you think?
The thing is, I'm not, I don't want to say I'm not a runner, because it's not right. I wasn't running in the past as much as I do now. And the only reason I'm running that much right now is because I wanna be able and comfortable to finish that obstacle race. It's about 10 kilometers with 25 obstacles in the middle, between the kilometers, whatever. And to finish it, you have to be comfortable finishing 10 kilometers just like that with no obstacles. So adding the obstacles together, you must be okay to do like a 15, 16 kilometers. So it's going to be nice and comfortable. So what I'm trying to say is I didn't have any goals before to start running or do runs, even if I like it to run. But the thing is, it wasn't always an option for me. I mean, I don't like running.
You don't like running?
The thing is, I love. I mean, I don't mind, but it would be always a second option. Like if you give me Aphrodite or triple Aphrodite versus run, I'm gonna say triple Aphrodite. If you whatever. So I love the explosive workouts, the whole freeletics sense, than go and run. I do sometimes.
I'm the same.
Yeah. So that's the only reason. I mean, if you ask me, I'm sorry. If you asking me if I finish my weight-free gain journey, if I'm gonna go to a hybrid journey, no. I don't think I will ever do the hybrid journey.
No. I mean,
sorry guys.
I don't know whether it's because where I live is it's literally hills. There isn't really any flat space. Yeah. You can't run anywhere without. I've never enjoyed running. It might just be me. I get quite bored of running, unless I think it's quite tactical. If you're someone who doesn't get excited about the idea of running, then maybe if you were to have something to listen to that you could just lose yourself in, and then next thing you know, you've done your run, you can't even remember it. I've started running this week as part of my recovery. I've not run for a long time, but I say I've started running basically whenever we need something from the shop, rather than take the car, I'll run to the shop and back, which on the way there is fine with an empty bag, but on the way back, when you've got milk and all that sort of stuff, it's quite a heavy run back. But I have a very similar relationship with running. I would choose anything else over running myself. I mean, I've got the worst form as far as my feet are concerned. My feet are awful. I did notice today when I was doing Double Mania, when there was some lunges in there, and I sort of accepted the fact that because I've got I had that operation on my toe when I was little, and I've still got a big screw in there, and it doesn't bend properly. So I sort of realized that that's actually had a much bigger impact on my posture and on my flexibility than I realized, because if you can't bend your toes to get into that pressed position, then it affects your whole body. And I realized today doing lunges that my foot was, every time I did a back a lunge with the left foot down at the back, my foot was sideways to compensate for the fact that it didn't bend. But yeah, I've never been a fan of running at all. I mean, if I was doing sport, if I was playing football, I could run all day when I was younger. You know, I'd run all day playing football. But the idea of just running, I mean, the thing about running is if you run for 10K, or say you went for a run for an hour, you end up where you started, which for me feels like a waste of time. You leave your house, and you can travel 10 you travel 10 kilometers, and where do you end up? Where you're back where you were at the beginning. It seems crazy to me. Yeah.
That's it, man. You're the same place. You didn't go anywhere. You didn't achieve anything.
Exactly. But then I suppose that's similar with doing a Freeletics workout. You don't even leave.
Okay, let me ask you something. Where do you go? Where do you do triple Aphrodite? You go into a different country or something?
You know what? I go somewhere here. I know. I go into battle. I go into war. It's different for me with running.
Yeah.
I think there was a Homer Simpson quote. What's the point of going out? We always end up back here. It's the same for me. But I think maybe that's part of that is taking for granted where I live. I mean, I live in a beautiful place. I mean, it's when you've lived somewhere your whole life, you sort of become blind to it. We've got some beautiful scenery. We've got some beautiful beaches and ocean and cliff faces, and there is some nice stuff to see here. I'm looking out my window now, and I can see the silhouette of the woodland there. It's like forest. It's a small it's Primley Woods. It's, you know, that there are places here, but you take it for granted because it's in your back garden. You know, it's right where you live. I mean, like where you're from, you come from one of the most beautiful places on the planet. You know,
you come from. Wait. Where are you from? Where are you from?
Where are you from? Where am I from?
I'm joking. No, man, I love the energy. Already, I'm laughing.
Yeah, it's good to have some energy.
Can I say something on what you said about the scenery? I was back to the running thing. I will continue running. Not that often as I'm doing right now. After I've done with the races, because of I have a friend that he used to be a marathon guy. He used to run marathons all over the planet. He came to Boston, he went to England, he went to Germany, he went to Japan, he went to anywhere, Greece, all over the place. He's Greek. He used to be for the national team, marathon team, and we're running together. So he's teaching me some secrets for running skills. And what I'm trying to say is, I wasn't always running because I was running probably in the wrong place. Sometimes people running outside along the road, on the pavement, you always see something that you saw before, either by a car, either by walking, either by something. Like you know the scenery already.
Yeah.
So for my very first run, like a few months back, he took me to a place that had like a path, and it was like either hike, you go with your bike, and then you have like a running path. And I've never been to that place before, and it was unbelievable, the whole nature thing. And it was because it was changing every 2 kilometers or every mile and something. It was changing, like the whole thing. It was like having like a crosswalk and like a little road, and then you were going to another scenery. So every time you were running like a 1.5 kilometers or 2 kilometers, it was changing. So the whole scenery was changing, and always you're getting, oh my God, you say, oh my, this is different tree, this is different flowers, there is a farm down there, oh, look at the birds, look at the squirrel or whatever. And then you keep running, and then the scenery was keep changing again. And to be very honest, I kept running to that place because what food and books are, everything is for the body. Nature, I believe it's 100% for the soul, for the mind and soul. And you're like, it's unbelievable. And no music, no nothing. Of course, there's nothing better than the nature sounds. and it's amazing, you know, what I've learned with running. Maybe I don't like it, and I don't want to run, but running through places makes you love the nature, man.
Yeah. What's going on there? Was that someone making a smoothie? Yeah, I think you're right. I think if you can immerse yourself in your surroundings and almost make it not about the run, you get your miles in, you get your kilometers in, and you track it on your phone, and you expel that energy, and you develop that strength in your legs and your lungs. But you make it more about what you're getting. You're not sat at home watching TV, you're out in nature, you're out looking at the world. And I agree that there's no better sound than the sound of nature, but also sometimes if you find the right soundtrack to listen to that really heightens that experience, it could become a bit of a sensory overload. And I think timing as well. You've got location, which can be beautiful scenery, things you've not seen before, and nature, I think, is the biggest bonus to when you go out running. You go and see some nature, but also you've got your timing. So if you get it the right time and you start running just before sunrise, or just as the sun's setting, and also seasonal, you can see the same scenery changing throughout the 4 seasons. And I think maybe do you know what, I've talked myself into running. We've just talked me into running. I think I'm going to try and get out and do a bit more, because it's one thing. I think, like you said, if you go past the same scenery every day, and say I've seen people running through like the town centre, in the middle of the streets in the town centre in their full workout gear, trying to get past shoppers and things like that. It doesn't make sense. That can't be enjoyable to me, especially seeing as I know that they live near some very, very beautiful, idyllic sort of scenery and settings. So and again, the other thing as well is a lot of people. I mean, you look at professional fighters and boxers. One thing that they all do is they usually get up first thing in the morning, they run. Everyone runs, and it builds that lung capacity, and it strengthens those legs, and it improves your cardio. It means you can go longer and longer and longer. And I imagine as well, it's obviously going to have a huge benefit to your intense freeletics workout. So if you've got a workout with a lot of burpees, for example, your lung capacity is going to be improved. So you're going to be able to get those 10, 12, 15, 20 reps in a row, where the only problem that you might face is the fact that you've got that push up at the bottom, and that squat and that jump, and it's more about your muscles than it is about your lungs and your ability to keep going. I think it's getting darker here now as well. The other thing is as well, you can, if you time your run right, you run right, you can see things that perhaps you wouldn't see in your day-to-day life. So if you walk or drive from work and back, and that's the only interaction you have with your outside world, and then you go out for an evening run, you might realize there's things going on in your community that you didn't even know. And the other thing now as well is, as everywhere starts opening up, we can start running with people. I mean, it has been nice, to be honest, because when I've been leaving for work lately at 5 a.m. So on the way in, you do see a few groups of people running along the seafront as the sun's rising over the ocean. So it could be a shared experience as well. I know that there's people within the community that they prefer running to the rest of Freeletics. Rather than the strength training, they'd rather do the running, and some people only do the running. And there are, I think perhaps I would be tempted again. Actually, having said that, I did start the hybrid running journey just before the first lockdown, and then we went into lockdown, and we weren't really allowed outside, and the levels of paranoia were through the roof. People didn't want to go near people. People were looking at people in supermarkets as if like they just committed a crime because they came within 2 meters of you. I did start that hybrid journey, and I was quite enjoying it. So maybe that's something I might consider after the end of Hell Week. Get back out there, and I've done a complete 180 on running just during the see the benefit of this podcast already. We've just changed my life.
Man, it changed you in 15 minutes to go from no runner to a runner.
Yeah. Next thing, I like.
Oh, can I say something, please, about the music that I said, and you very well said about the soundtrack and the music. This is my opinion, of course, no offensive to anybody. If you want to listen to blast out rock music or nice Mozart or Beethoven or whatever, like or opera
or an inspiring podcast,
or an inspiring podcast with Oli and Ambassador USA Angelo Freeletics, would be awesome. But my opinion is, what I'm doing is I wanna, alone time is exactly alone time is sometimes, and most of the times, the best time. So when I'm running, it's like I'm giving time with myself, and just no phone, no nothing, anything, just my watch, so I can track my running and everything. So by running alone, you're you and your thoughts, and by having all the natures and all this kind of stuff, and the birds or whatever, or the sound, the wind, the sunlight, the rain or clouds or whatever, it doesn't get you distracted from the nature. If you listen to a song, maybe your favorite song comes in, you're gonna start running, pumping, the run, but you're losing the scenery around. You can't just start, hitting your head up and down for the music and running, and also say, "Oh, what a beautiful tree, man!" Just doesn't make any sense. But with all of the respect, guys, do whatever you like as long as you keep running, as long as you keep pushing. It's just my advice is a little bit, enjoy a little bit of nature.
I think that last bit was the main thing. I think everyone has their own thing, I mean, for me,
of
course, a lot of the times I need that music in order to go into that Zen mode. I need that, and for me, it won't be heavy rock music or anything like that. 9 times out of 10, it would be instrumental music, which maybe some sort of movie music. I listen to a lot of there's sort of movie music by Two Steps from Hell, and as much as that sounds like a heavy metal rock band or something that's a little bit dark, some of the music is just it's beautiful. The music you hear in those epic scenes in fantasy movies and sci-fi movies, that's the sort of thing for me that if I'm working out at home with that music on, my mind goes to these beautiful places anyway. It goes to battlefields, or it goes to a meadow, depending on what sort of mood I need to be in, whether I'm doing some stretching or something like that, and I want it to be nice and peaceful. And that works for me as well on the outside world, because what sometimes does happen is when I was going for a run, I would always have the music on, and it would help me keep a rhythm as well with the music. And it would also stop me, because usually 9 times out of 10, I've got music running through my head constantly anyway. And what that makes me do is I've got a weird thing where I would keep the beat of that song that was in my head with my teeth, grinding my teeth. So that I know that's not healthy, and it really, it has an effect on my jaw and things like that. But the music would stop me making up my own soundtrack to life, and I would be able to keep that rhythm. And the other thing as well is, I would be able to lose myself, and I would find that if for whatever reason, say if I was running and my headphone jack came out of my phone, which I don't use wireless headphones on my phone, they're linked up to something else, so if the headphone jack came out, the next thing I know, I've gone from beautiful, peaceful music or sort of awe-inspiring, classical music or something like that. The next thing I know, that jack pulls out, and all I can hear is I can hear my.
Can you imagine you getting scared? Who's that guy?
I know. And then what it does is I realize, I think, wow, if I run past people, is that what I sound like? I imagine they must be, if they're walking the dog in front of me and I'm coming up to them, they must hear this weird, like, heavy breathing guy.
This is happened. I'm sorry interrupting you. This has happened to me a few runs back. I remember it. That's why I laughed a little bit more, because I was running to a trail, right, and it was a little tunnel, because this one used to be like a railway, and it has like a very tiny, like a bridge. Like, you can call it tunnel or whatever. So right when I went through the tunnel, it was outside of the tunnel, a few meters, whatever, away. It was like a family, and they were talking. So as the moment I stepped into the tunnel, because I was like, whatever, the whole echo thing probably made them scared, and all of them at the same time. The moment I stepped into the tunnel, they were like.
They jumped.
Like, who's coming right now? Yeah. The train.
Terrified, absolutely terrified.
Oh man!
Do you ever what do you do then when I find this quite difficult, and it's almost it's difficult when you're cycling as well. If you are running and you're behind someone, you can see they're walking.
Yeah.
But maybe they've got their headphones on, and you know that when you run past, they're going to jump. They're just going to jump out of their skin. I don't know how to deal with that. Sometimes I slow down to a walk. I walk past them a little bit and then carry on. But there's a certain etiquette. There must be something that all runners have an agreement where you don't scare the general public because you're running past. But yeah, I think with the music it hides that breathing, and as soon as I can hear that breathing, to be honest, I should probably be concentrating on that breathing and developing a breathing technique when I'm running. But for me, it just sounds like an old man out of breath who can't quite keep up. I think if you run more consistently, you probably got more of a control over that. But for me, every run is it's a bit of a chore.
Can I say something else, please?
Please do.
About the running. One good thing my friend told me about the running. A very nice, mind trick. I mean, for some people can work, some people don't. Anyway, so while you're running and you see, either depends where you're running. If you're running all by yourself in a farm, like in the middle of, I don't know, of Arizona, I don't know, you're gonna be all alone. But if you're running on the streets, or if you're running in a trail or something, and you see people running too, a good thing to motivate yourself, imagine the people at the end, the person you see, whatever, the closest to you. Imagine a person as a cookie, or as something that you love, like a dessert, like, I don't know, something I love, as a pasta, I don't know. So anything. So imagine a person that is like a cookie. And when you get there, imagine that you're giving a prize to yourself, that you ate it. So, you see the little cookie becomes like the little human, like this, that is far away. You see the little cookie getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It means you're getting closer to the cookie and closer to the prize. So when you get them, say, yes, I ate my cookie. And now you're going for the next one.
Do you say that as you run past them?
No, can you imagine? Goodbye, cookie.
Yeah. You run past the same person every day because they happen to be walking that way every day. I had my cookie, and then that's it every day. It's like, who's this guy? He's crazy, man.
Can you imagine? The guy is gonna think like you calling that person a cookie. This guy cookie.
That would be weird. Yeah.
But this is a great trick. Just while we're talking for so long for running, let me share 1 minute of what I've learned. Always, focus on your steps. Don't injure yourself. Don't do any crazy steps, slide or whatever. Always, the ground that you're running, it has to be a nice ground. Don't go on a rainy day or whatever, because more chances to get injured. Have good shoes, of course, and tie them up good so you can have a very comfortable running. Breathing. The most important is breathing. Always, try to control your breathing throughout the running. Keeping your pace, 9 to 10 minutes per mile, or let's call it like a kilometer and a half. So that's a very good pace. And if you even start even slower, that's good. But as long before you go to the next level, like to run faster, they keep it to the 9 minutes over there, no less. Never start very fast. Always start with the pace above of where you want to go. Let's say if I want to keep my pace today at 9, I'm gonna start at 10, and I'm gonna be 9:50, 9:45, 9:40, and slowly get to my pace, so you won't lose track. This is a good mind trick about the cookies and everything with the people. Always put a price ahead of it and say I'm gonna get there. And when you get the price, put another price, another price, another price. Because the humans, they're just achievement freaks. We have to achieve in order to get motivated and keep pushing. So always put prizes, achievements every time you're running.
Does it help?
Always.
Does it help? Like,
yes.
like when you get a triple god with Freeletics, for example, it always helps to break that down into more manageable parts. So if you've got your say I've never done one of these runs, like you've got the obstacle run that you're going to do, and I know you've done those before, haven't you?
Yes, I did my first one 2 years ago.
So does it help the same as if I was going to tackle a Freeletics God workout that was going to take me an hour, to break that down? I mean, even if it was a 10-minute one, you break it down into its component parts and you take one step at a time, and you make little targets for yourself and little milestones. Does that apply as well to running, or you don't want to just go in blind and say, well, I've got to go from A to B and I'm just going to do my best? I'm
doing the same on the triple workouts. Yeah, like the last time I did the triple Aphrodite, I said I'm gonna, because think about your energy like a water bottle. Okay, I don't have any next to me, like a water bottle. So this is your energy. So perfect. Imagine this as your energy, right? So this is your energy. This is what you're getting. It's gonna get refilled after you sleep and all this kind of stuff. This is what you have for the day. So if you it's like the car. The faster you run, the more gas you're spending. Maybe you're gonna get faster over there, but at the end of it, you're gonna have no gas. You're gonna be out of energy, and the day is done. So imagine you have like a water bottle. This is your energy. Just you have to manage it. Very wise of how you're gonna go. So by going slow and steady process, every one step at a time, and at a steady pace, it gives you time. Also, is like for example, a quick parenthesis. I had my goal on a 10 kilometers, right? And we're running with my friend. So he told me we're gonna run 10 kilometers today. Okay, in the beginning, we were doing his pace. He was teaching me the pace. He was teaching me the steps, the breathing, and all this kind of stuff. And then he started giving the freedom to me. He says, today we're gonna start running 10 kilometers. Go however you want, right? Yeah. And my very first time as an amateur runner, I ran pretty fast in the very first 5 kilometers. So I didn't have any energy on the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Man, it was a suffering. I hated myself running. It was painful, it was a struggle. So at the end of it, I was like, oh my God, this and that. I was faster than the previous, whatever. But he says to me, the only thing that he says to me at the end, he says, did you enjoy it? And I said to him, no, man. I say, oh my God. He says, that's all I wanna. He says to me, I don't care about your time. I don't care you were faster. I don't care you broke the record on the 1 kilometer. I don't care about anything. So did you enjoy it? I say no. So the whole thing is, you need to manage your energy very extremely wise. So at the end of it, you're gonna have the remaining energy and also say, I did it. Always what I'm doing on the triple workouts, I'm breaking them down. So say I'm gonna give this space to part 1, this space is a part 2, and the energy I'm gonna have at that point, I'm gonna give everything I have at the end, because this is what you're gonna do. Even on the running, when you are in a race and you're running 10 people, right, and you have 100 kilometers to the end, to the finish line, the person that is going to win is the person that managed to have the most remaining energy. Because if I give my energy in the very beginning, right, if I just blast my speed and go like a 10,000 kilometers per second, in the beginning, at the end of it, the guy that kept it, at the end of the last 100 kilometers is gonna just disappear from us. He's gonna come up first. So this is what he told me. One time he was running a marathon and he did the same mistake. He says, I was second, and I did the mistake to give all my energy in the beginning. It was the first, the second, and 8 more people. He says at the last 100 kilometers, 100 meters. I always say kilometers. The last 100 meters, I came up 8th.
Yeah.
He said because I did a mistake.
So it's
No
about
podium, no prize, nothing. He lost the race because of the mistake that he did in the beginning. He says, I had no energy. I didn't have any energy to give at the end. At the end, you think you're going fast, like you give everything you have. But if you see as an outsider, as a third person, you see a person like struggling, like you go in a slow pace, like the galactic acid is already out. Already the brakes are start pushing the brakes now on your body, you need to stop. And you can go any further. So the best thing with the triple workouts, to answer your question, like after 15 hours of a monologue, yes, I manage my energy, always smart.
That's the word.
Part 1, part 2, part 3.
Yeah, manage is the word. It's managing your energy.
Manage is the best. You can't go random. You can't go like, oh, I give everything in the beginning and whatever happens, happens. You can't.
I think what it is, the biggest key is experience, because it's all well and good saying you're going to manage your energy, but until you've done that 2 or 3 times at the start of the race, you've got all your energy. You've got all your energy at the start of the race. So it's knowing how to not just, because you feel great at the start, and you just go, you don't realize perhaps that you're burning all your energy because you're just going at a pace that is comfortable, but you need to go slightly easier than that, because comfortable right now is because you've got all your energy. If you try and maintain this for another 10k or another 3 rounds of Aphrodite, I mean, you can start Aphrodite and you can start your first, it starts with 50 burpees. You start with those burpees, and you might be able to hit 25 and think, I do 25 burpees anyway, quite comfortably. So if coach just gave me 25 burpees, I know I could hit those 100%, and I've done them. But if you try and do that with Aphrodite, and you give 100% on that first round of burpees, then you're going to come short. You're going to come short by the end. And it's exactly the same it's the same with everything, really. I mean, when you said about the water, obviously you were talking about energy levels, but if you were to take water into the desert and you were thirsty on the day one, you wouldn't go, I'm thirsty, I'm going to drink all of it. I'm going to drink, you don't go, good at it, I'm really thirsty, I'm going to fix that.
Exactly.
You start taking sips because you don't know how long it's going to take, and you don't know how long that needs to last. And I guess that's a way to approach the race, because it's such a long distance, and obviously you don't know before. You can have a target time of how long you're going to take, but you don't know until you finish the race how long your race is going to last. So you take sips on the assumption that this has got to last me a long time, and it's got to get me through a lot of energy, the same as you expel small amounts of energy thinking, I don't know how long this is going to have to last. And it's such a long a full marathon, that's such a long distance that you don't know how that's going to feel. I mean, I imagine even people that have a lot of experience with running, it takes so much experience to know, I'm overdoing it here a little bit, I need to pace it out, because it's such a long way away. That finish line is such a long way away that it's hard to fathom that get that time scale and that management under control, especially on like the first few miles. That's got to be really difficult. I think I've only ever done a few 10k runs, and I know that they were completed basically because of I started and I was going to finish. So I probably didn't do it in the most healthy way. And I certainly didn't do it in a way that conserved energy. I approached it the same way as I was approached a big attempted PB for a Freeletics workout. I would go all in all the way, and by the end of it I'd have been completely exhausted. I mean, I got through it and I was okay, and it was a mental victory, but I know that I think I could have had a much more enjoyable time if I had a bit more experience in controlling that that expenditure.
Well, that's good. And what you're saying about the experience, it's really good. It's just you have to get the experience, and people that might think like, oh my God, I did one of Aphrodite in 2 hours, or I ran 1 kilometer in 10 hours, or whatever. That's good. I mean, it's good. Everybody starts from somewhere, and you need to put the experience. You need to burn out. If I didn't do the mistake of giving my blast of energy at the beginning, I wouldn't know that I have to manage my energy. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. Maybe I wouldn't think that, oh, it's something deeper, inside. It's not just, oh, run, put your shoes on and run. Everything it's a strategy. You're getting the energy when you're getting out of the door of your house and you go for a run. You're getting your energy in your pocket, the energy of the rest of the day in your pocket. And you say, this is how I'm gonna manage it today. So it's either you're gonna come back home exhausted and you're gonna go to sleep, or either you're gonna come back and you're gonna start, I don't know, maybe you're gonna do a small Freeletics workout because you kept your energy. It's always how you manage anything. And you need to burn out. You need to do mistakes. You need to keep doing it until you never stop learning and stop. I mean, you can never stop doing it. It's gonna happen again. I mean, you cannot do a mistake again. Like, it's gonna happen.
I think
experience is everything. An experience.
You're listening to the Shaped by Gods podcast. I can bring that back around to what I was saying before, and I think that I felt similarities in trying to make my comeback after a few weeks off of being, I don't usually get unwell, and I can genuinely say I've not been very well at all. But you sort of, it doesn't matter how much experience you've got, as far as, we've been doing this for 7 years. Freeletics, our fitness journey started at a very similar time. That all that experience seems to go out the window when you're trying to say my first few workouts when I was coming back. In your head, there's this doubt where, I'm older now than I was when I started. When I started, I was out of shape, but I was a younger man. Am I still going to be able to do it? And because you don't feel physically up for it or mentally up for it, because you haven't done it for a little while, and that's something you have to overcome. You have to overcome that yourself in your head. You have to go, okay, we're doing this again. This, we've done it before, we're going to do it again. But there's always that thing in your head where you think, well, what if I can't do it anymore? What if that was my, I've reached a point in my life where, I no longer have the energy or the capability to do it. And the fact is, if you just do it, after a few workouts, like we said earlier, actually, I was fine. I can do it, because after a little while you do get stronger again and you do get fitter. But there's always that doubt in your mind, thinking, well, what if I try this now and I can't do it? And the chances are, if you've had a little break, when you try it again, you won't be able to do it as well, anywhere near as well as you could before, and it will feel like the first time. It did feel like the first time again, the first few workouts I had. But again, with that experience, it soon comes back. It soon comes back into your mind. And the few workouts I've done since, like today's 2 times Mania, I called upon all 7 years of my previous experience of Freeletics to get through that. And there's a certain intelligence that you develop over time with especially with fitness, and in this Freeletics environment, especially because you can get in great shape lifting weights and going for personal records with how heavy the weight is you're lifting. But for me, it was I've learned a lot from going through these Freeletics workouts because of the nature of them. They are all individual, different battles. You have different victories every time you do a workout, especially with the God workouts that are also different and targeted. That I knew today with the Mania, I was thinking, right, okay, I'm not going into this thinking PB. I'm not going, right, I need to get a PB today. It's Hell Week. I've got 2 times mania. If I don't get a PB, it's a failure. For me, it was, okay, you've done this before. You've been injured before. You've been ill before. You've taken breaks before. And when you came back, there have been times where you've come back and tried to do the same as you would have done before your injury. You know, you try to match yourself. You know, you forget that you probably lost a little bit. And it was a controlled return. Each rep was, you know, focus on form, take your time. I think I doubled my PB. I think I did it twice, like, you know, slower by half again. But that wasn't a problem, and I think that takes experience as well. It's the same as the running thing. Sometimes the goal needs to be finishing the 10K, and then the next goal needs to be finishing it faster. And then the next goal, finishing it faster, and then you can start setting times where you think, if I can get it to this time, then, you know, then I'll feel like I'm competitive. But the very first goal needs to be completing it safely and with good form. And yeah, I think experience is the big thing we're taking away from this episode of the show. You know, it takes a long time to develop that knowledge and that fitness intelligence. So you need to be patient with yourself, especially if this is your first, if you're just starting working out. I mean, for me, and it's been the case for as long as I can remember with fitness, when people say, right, I need to get in shape, the very first thing they do is they go out for a run. You know, that is usually the first thing people think they need to do in order to get in shape. And that can be quite dangerous because, you know, if you are overweight or you are out of shape or your heart's not in great condition, and the first thing you do is try and challenge, and you take your body out for a run without knowing, you know, what it takes to do a decent run, or you know, to get your heart rate going and your lungs pumping, it could be quite a dangerous thing to do just because of the lack of knowledge of what you're doing, really. Because, you know, if the first thing people think is that I need to get in shape, and then they start running and eating salad as well. I need to eat salad and run. That seems to be the go-to fix.
The very next day.
Yeah.
Okay. Salad or orange juice, and I'm gonna do 20K in under an hour.
Yeah. Then I'm in shape. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the ones that I like people that sort of, you know, they'll have a McDonald's, but, you know, I'll have a salad with it.
Don't forget to get your diet drink. You know,
your
always
diet.
diet.
Yeah.
When you're eating like 10 burgers and then you say it's okay, I'm gonna have a diet drink because I don't know, it's too heavy.
The worst thing is you get the fad words where you know people at the moment is, you know, for the last year or so it's been protein. If something's got protein in it, it's healthy. You know, it's like every bottle or every box, even though that product is probably, you know, it's always had protein in it, always, because that's just just the nature of the product. You know, you got, but now they have to put protein on the front of the box because apparently protein is exactly what you need just to get in shape. You know,
I met a person, no offense, because everybody is learning. We learn too. We did mistakes too, but that, you know, something to what you say. I remember one guy, he used to make a protein shake in the morning, right? With eggs inside and some crazy stuff. And he was drinking it. And then after a few hours, he was eating like a bread with extra mayonnaise, fried chicken, French fries, and something else on it. And I'm like, why do you even drink the protein shake, man, in the very beginning? Why do you even do it?
But
exactly, man. Exactly.
Yeah, this is the same people that, you know, that would put a salad on top of you know, they eat the same stuff, but the salad will counteract it. But then I guess that's just a basic understanding of calories and, you know, and your macronutrients and things like that. For me, it's basic understanding because I've studied it, you know, for 7 years. But if you didn't know, I mean, I can remember my diet. I used to have the diet of a 7-year-old, man. Before I started working out and studying it, and actually for me, the same as most people, the first thing that I started with as far as trying to get in shape was the exercise. It was, you know, I was lucky to find Freeletics straight away, and that was where I started with my journey. So it was it's developed massively now. It's much better now than it was, but even at the very beginning, it was all done for you. The thinking and the knowledge was all there done for you. All you had to do is be accountable and get yourself through it. But for the first maybe 2 or 3 years of my Freeletics journey, my diet didn't change at all. I was eating junk. I was eating hot dogs and burgers and fries and things like that. But I thought because I was doing the exercise, it was okay. It wasn't even that. I didn't even know. I didn't know about calories in, calories out. I didn't know about protein, fat, carbohydrates. I didn't know about micronutrients or anything like that. So
on what do you say? It's very nice. On the internet, because internet you can find many BS stuff, and because they have another BS crowd on the back supporting this BS. Everybody thinks this is right.
It's all money.
Like, for my opinion on what I'm going to say is, there is one meme, or how they call them, picture or whatever, like the athletic people, whatever. It says, I'm exercising because I love food and because I like to eat too much. This is a little bit wrong, because like you said in the beginning, you were doing exercises.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I get it, because the people that say that and genuinely, you know
where I'm going.
I know exactly.
Where I'm going, right?
But for me, to an extent, that you can sort of make an argument for that, but not to the extent that a lot of people will read that and they get it wrong. They get it wrong because they haven't studied it, and there is so much false information out in the fitness world. We've had it over history. We've had it over throughout the history of fitness. Fat makes you fat. Carbohydrates make you fat. It's whatever fat, and 9 times out of 10, it is the food companies trying to sell a certain thing at a certain time. It's marketed most of the time, and it works. It works every time. You stick protein on a box of cereal, and people buy that cereal because it's high protein, which means it's healthier than the rest of them. But it's not. It's probably had that same protein count. They haven't changed the ingredients. It just happens to be now that if they sort of identify that 100 grams of their product has got 0.2 grams of protein in, then it's got protein in, so you can put protein on the box and everyone goes, yes, that's healthy. It's
you see the cereal, it says with the big letters on the bottom left or right, it says 9 grams of protein. And if you turn it on the side and you see the ingredients, it's a list like this, with preservatives and whatever else.
That's the other thing. I think for me, I got as far as calories and I got as far as macro ingredients, and for me, just studying those and then tracking and keeping an eye on those made a huge difference in the results I was getting. You can go into the micro ingredients, you can go into the vitamins, and obviously there's a whole world of optimizing your diet to make sure that the worst thing for me is all the effort you're putting in. You will give 110% for your workouts every single day. You kick your own ass, you beat yourself up, and then you put 0% effort into researching the fuel that you're putting in, and you're not optimizing that. You're doing all that work and then you're sabotaging that. And don't get me wrong, I deviate massively from my diet. When I go, I really go. And you don't want to beat yourself up over it, because you don't want to end up having a relationship with your diet, with food, where you might look like you're in good shape, but you're not excited to eat. You're not happy, and you go day to day thinking of your next cheat day. I don't do cheat days. I don't believe in them, because then you're setting what you're doing. Then is 6 out of your 7 days a week is basically punishment. Why would you do that? I mean, if it's a treat to eat certain things, then you need to adapt the rest of your days to fit that in, because you can fit in a treat every day as long as you get that balance right.
On that, before I wanted to complete my thoughts on the previous thing. Is just about the internet, or whole thing is, it's a little sad thing to say I want to exercise and eat whatever I want. It's a little sad to say I'm gonna do Aphrodite today, and I'm gonna eat pizza first, or a pizza with all the processed food on it, and then I'm gonna do Aphrodite and burn it. It doesn't make any sense. You can eat whatever you like. And on what you're saying, is I lost my thoughts.
That's okay. So anyway, your thoughts on eating, working out so that you can eat.
Oh yes, yes. I found it. So I just wanted to say thank you, Mr. Oli from UK, finalist of Euro Cup. I just body and mind is two different things. Okay, everybody knows it. It's a fact. Body and mind is two different things. What you said on a cheat days, I always since forever I never believed on a cheat days because I never cheated as a person, like relationships, or I was trying to be a good friend.
It's the wrong word. It's the wrong word.
Yes,
cheat.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be a good friend, a good ambassador, a good influencer, a good partner, blah 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 blah, and in the future, a good father and everything. Cheat day, right? So why you, let's say, when you exercising a lot, right, and you give everything you have, like you said, to do triple, double, or whatever, like 100 kilometers run or whatever, and the mind is pushing the body to do it, so the body follows the mind. So then you have the cheat day, let's call it Sunday, and you try to and you eat pizza. So you have mind and body. So mind says, I want pizza, because the mind needs the feelings that the body is going to get from the pizza. So this one, it has to serve the mind again. But the mind doesn't think that giving pizza to the body actually is ruining the body, but the mind is getting pleasure. So it's a little bit selfish, right? So you say, oh, I'm going to eat pizza for my mind. It's actually for your mind. It's not for your body. So what are you going to say? The cheat day is to serve this.
Yeah, I think
the
difficult thing there is the mind is saying, I want pizza. The unfortunate thing there is the mind is the thing that makes the decisions. So if your mind goes, I want pizza, it's very difficult you have to force the argument for the other side. You have to control. That's something you have to do manually. It's almost like your mind is an automatic, right? It's an automatic, it runs on its own. As far as cravings and things you want to eat, and and a lot of the time, depending on say if you have maybe 5 consecutive days where you've been really consistent with your diet, you've been really consistent with your workouts, what will happen is your body you might start getting naturally tired, fatigued because of that that consistency, which is great. And then usually when you're tired or your body's starting to feel slightly weak, that's when your mind's going, we need something to release those endorphins. And your first port of call is food. Food is easy. Your mind's going, we need some of this. And I get it all the time. And my mind's going, I want some of that. I want, but your body hasn't got a voice. Like you said, I mean, when it comes to pizza, my mind says, I want pizza. And my body goes, so do I. Pizza's going, pizza's going in, man.
Give it to me.
Yeah. We want pizza.
Like a Pac-Man.
Yeah. It's like on cartoons where you got the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other. And when pizza's concerned, they agree every time.
I think here you don't have the angel. You have 2 devils, man. The devil is the mind, and the devil is the body. So both of them are saying, "What we're gonna eat today?"
They're not even devils. I've just got 2 slices of pizza.
That's it. It's already decided. The pepperoni slice and I don't know, chicken slice. You're like, oh.
Yeah. Every time. But again, as far as that concerned, my most difficult day, and I have pizza nights. We make our own pizza, and that for me it's all tracked. So as far as calories and protein and fat and carbs go, I still meet the same targets on pizza day as I do every other day. So I can have my chicken, my potatoes, and all that sort of stuff every other day. On pizza day, it's recorded in my phone, and I make up for. I'll either eat less my pizzas that I make aren't massive calories anyway. They're big pizzas and they're good pizzas, and I use, you know, reduced fat ingredients, things like that. But either way, my hardest day as far as being consistent with my diet is I give myself pizza day. That's a great day. Really like that day. My hardest day is the day after pizza day. Now, what the day after pizza day can do, that is when I have to be my most mentally strong, and it's really difficult, and often it fails. A pizza day can trigger a real bad week, you know, and it's the day after when you've put that stuff in your body, and then chemically your mind is going, we need more of that. That was great. We enjoyed that. That released all the right things that we like. We need more of that. And then next thing you know, you're reaching for, you know, you want chocolate for breakfast, and you know.
Same thing like alcohol, man.
Yeah,
the people going
definitely.
to a party, just putting down like a bottles after bottles, you know, they're having fun, they're doing crazy stuff, whatever. And the next day they feel like they got hit by a meteor from a different galaxy.
Yeah, and that is where that's where mental strength comes in, because you know no one does a tough workout. No one runs a marathon and then wakes up the next day and goes, "Oh, I really fancy another marathon." No one goes, "I really want to do that again." You know, no one. I think the key for me for being consistent is finding something you enjoy that's healthy. You know, not just. I mean, with Freeletics, for me, that is a sport for me. That's something I enjoy. A lot of people have a genuine sport, like you know, a lot of people like to play football or soccer. You know, and for me, it's that you can apply that to your diet as well. If you can find stuff, there are healthy options. It doesn't all have to be bland and boring.
Healthy. Can I say one healthy option? I don't know if you're
are you going to talk about sexy lentils?
Yeah.
Yes, he's going to bring up his
yes, man.
lentils. Yeah.
I don't know, guys. I don't know. Unless you live under a rock, like a big rock, big size rock.
Yeah.
Lentils are a very good food. They are very strong food. I love them.
Yes.
Definitely every week I have lentils in my kitchen. Every week, there's no week I don't have lentils, and I love lentils, and I'm getting inspired by lentils.
Inspired by.
And I think I'm inspiring them.
Yeah.
And we have a very good relationship. Lentils is a very good food.
He's mental for lentils. I think it's.
I think, man.
The thing is, they are great. They are great, and the same as, you know. I mean, a lot of people.
Careful what you're gonna say. Careful what you're gonna say about the lentils now.
What I'm going to say is, right, and not just lentils. Do you know what? I just saw that.
What about beans?
I just saw that and imagined free lentils on the same logo, but free.
Man, I hope one day
I'm gonna make that.
No, I hope the day I'm gonna achieve the dreams that I want to achieve, because they're gonna happen. I'm gonna have a free lentils day for everybody all over the world. I'm gonna serve lentils everywhere.
He's cooked. A free lentils ambassador.
And instead of the hexagon on the free lentils, you can have a lentil with the little root on it.
Amazing.
You can look like a lentil, but you can always rise above the ground.
Unbelievable. Anyway, right. What I was going to say was, you know, it's easy to say, you know, you love your lentils. Yeah. You've got some good recipes. What you've done is you've refined. If you were to take, like, say, the first day you had lentils, you literally just boiled lentils and ate them. That's not enjoyable. They were right. That's gross.
Were very bad. And I think my very first one, half of the pot stuck on the bottom because I burned them.
Because you didn't know how to cook. This is going back to experience. So what you've done is you've learned recipes and techniques.
I was crying for 2 days.
You've. Oh my God. So you've learned how to enjoy it ways. So for me, every day, you know, I could eat sweet potato and my chicken and, you know, broccoli every day. A lot of people say that is so boring. I can, you know, rice, broccoli, but if you cook with those and cook them in a certain way that you really enjoy it. Let's say for me, like, if I slow bake my potatoes, that's completely different to just, say microwaving or boiling them or something like that. And same with the chicken. I cut up my chicken, and all I do is coat it in barbecue sauce, which it's all counted for. So the chicken's in it, it's all healthy. Barbecue sauce. That's what it took for me. That's it took me a lot of time. I was using different spices and things like that, and then it got to a point where I was just barbecue sauce from a bottle, and it was like it's like that, and that for me, just that little thing means that I can now eat chicken, potatoes, and broccoli every day quite comfortably without
Can
going
you imagine? You have your French fries, right? You say dressing number 1, dressing number 2, dressing number 10. After 500 attempts, ketchup. Oh my God!
It's basically, that's how it was. That's how it went. Except it was barbecue sauce. It was that easy.
Oh man!
I went through Chinese 5-spice. I had stuff. I mean, there was a point where back in the early days where it was probably the advice that everybody gets, and there's all this information out there. If you need to get protein, you need to get carbohydrates, and you need to get fats, and you need to get them from these sources. These are the best sources. So obviously you look into things like chicken, rice and things like that, and you're just eating them bland because you buy a bag of rice for the first time and you just read the back of the packet. It says boil in water, so you boil them in water and eat it. It's like
for how long, man?
That's just rice. I know, but it's just rice. You couldn't eat that every day. I mean, a lot of people do across the world, but I needed a little bit of flavor. So again, it's about finding a way to make the things that aren't necessarily enjoyable but would benefit you if you did them every day. It works for the diet and it works for the exercise. Find a way to enjoy it. I enjoy Freeletics because of the way it's set up and the way that it is a challenge every day. You've got your records, you've got your PBs, they've got these new badges, you've got something changing every day, and basically what you're doing is exercise. The bare bones of it, the essentials, all you're doing every day is exercising. You just happen to be doing it in a certain way that fulfills more than just the physical side of exercise. It's a mental game. There's the community. Bare essentials, you're exercising every day because you found a way to do it that you enjoy, that you can do every day without it being monotonous and boring and something that you don't want to do. Don't get me wrong, I have periods where the last thing I want to do is exercise. Most days before I work out, I don't want to work out. But it's learning that when you do it, there are benefits, and it's the same with the food. It's finding a way. If I was doing the same thing every day, eating boring food every day, it would last. I would last about a week. So it's finding a way to enjoy doing the things that is going to benefit your body and your mind.
And you know what? On what you say on but that was really nice. I want to stay a little bit. You say some people are saying, "Oh, you're gonna eat this again," whatever. Man, this is the best thing that probably we said. I mean, one of the best things that we said today. Amazing podcast number 1, episode number 1, powerful.
We're back, baby.
People saying, "Oh, you're gonna eat this again." Rule number 1: don't listen to the people what they say. I mean, about when they're criticizing like this. Of course, if you have a bad form and somebody tries to correct your form, okay, correct your form. But what I say is, if you have 2 people, right, and both of them, let's say they're average, no fit, whatever, not shredded and all this kind of stuff, and one person start doing like 20 burpees a day, and you're doing 20 burpees a day, and the person number 1 says to the person number 2 that does the burpee, "Oh, I'm gonna do burpees again." See the message behind? The one is never gonna change, but the other one is putting the effort of consistent work, daily burpees every day, but also the body is changing, becomes burning fat, becomes more lean, becomes more powerful, and everything. So if people saying to you, and people saying to you, "Oh, you're eating chicken and broccoli and rice again," and you're gonna say yes, because man, if we had to eat one time for the rest of our lives, of course, we're going to choose the best food, and then we're never going to eat again. But you have to eat again and again and again and again till the end of your life. So you have to eat healthy. And if you eat it again, it's because you have to eat it again.
I think a lot of people would argue the other side of that. They say, "Oh, you've got to eat every day, so I want to enjoy it." The other problem is as well, and just quickly before I go on to this, the thing you just said, where you don't listen to the people that tell you, you're going to eat that again, the naysayers, as it were, or people that don't quite understand. That's how I became the guy that turns up to a barbecue with a bowl of oats in my bag. I turn up to a barbecue with oats and a banana and say, "Can I borrow your microwave for a minute? I want to eat with everybody." But I think it is the same. And a lot of people would say that they really don't. It's an understanding thing for me. They don't really you don't understand, which is fine, because we're all sold that same. The mistake a lot of people seem to make is every single thing they put in their mouth has to be a treat. And as much as I really enjoy my diet, I enjoy the food I eat.
Yeah.
A lot of people. I mean, people don't drink water because it hasn't got. It's not flavored. It's like. There's people that won't drink water because it doesn't taste of anything. They'd rather have.
Man, this is sad and powerful.
It is. It's really bad. I mean,
what you just said, this is sad and powerful. Yeah. Very nice. That's very strong.
You find yourself in a situation where you don't have access to food, right? Okay, so at the moment we have an abundance of food. We've got food everywhere. I'm in my bedroom. I've probably got food in here somewhere. We've got access to food. You go in the supermarket, there's access to everything you could possibly think of and more. There's things in there that you couldn't think of because there's no reason for it to exist, but there it is. It's on the shelf. You live in a world like that, then obviously you're going to go to all this chemical stuff, all these sweets and things like that. But for me, if you live in a world without that, can you imagine for someone who hasn't had access to food for a long, long time, and they manage to get their hands on a fresh piece of fruit, all that flavor and all that juice and all that, how satisfying that piece of fruit is to someone who isn't exposed to sugar and chocolate and candy and things like that.
Yeah.
I really do think that we do take it for granted. The fruit and vegetables, just as a base, that is something that we overlook. It's always the first aisle in the supermarket in the UK and across a lot of places in Europe. I don't know what it's like in America. It's always the first aisle. And sometimes I get the impression that for a lot of people, that's so that you get it out of the way. You walk straight past it, some people don't even walk through that. You got the fruit here and they'll just that way. Where's the sweets? Where's the chocolate? Where's the treats? And it's the same. And it's probably no coincidence as well that the sweets and the chocolate and the candy and the crisps, they are right down the other end of the supermarket with the alcohol, where the alcohol lives. And it's all vices for me. It's all different vices. And as much as I'm not against, don't get me wrong, I'm not against it in any way. I as much as anyone else, I enjoy chocolate, I enjoy snacks, I enjoy sweets and things like that, because obviously that they are designed by design. They taste great and they make you feel good, and you could probably eat them all day, every day, if that was what you wanted to do. But for me, we are missing something. We're walking straight past fresh fruit, and actually, it's gotten to a point where I don't even think the fruit is anywhere near the quality as it used to be, because there isn't as much of a market for it.
Now everything becomes worse and worse and worse over time because money get involved, man, and that's another huge subject to talk about.
It's stupid. It is money. It's always money. It's always money. Everything's
it's all about money.
But for me, with fruit and veg, you don't even have to spend money on packaging it. You know what I mean? It usually comes loose as it comes out of the ground and it goes on the shelf. So the amount of money that our governments and our industries and companies and that spend on packaging sweets and candy and designing new boxes that have the same thing, but the amount of marketing cash that goes in. You never see an advert for apples. You ever seen an advertisement for apples? I've never seen it before. The amount of money that is in advertising this sweets and this candy, and you've got this stuff. You've got this incredible stuff that's growing out of the ground. And the more naturally it grows, the better it tastes, and yet we're walking straight past it, and I think we take it for granted. And I think it will get to a point. It'll get to a point in the world when all the manufacture of this sort of stuff could stop, and then we're left with fruit and veg, and people will get fussy. People will miss all the sugar. it would be nice. It'd be nice to get to that stage where people had to go back to route one, and you have to grow your own food, and you got that benefit of making the most of the land, and then it feeds back into the atmosphere and the planet and the earth. We could go into yes.
By the way, after according to the history of how the planet, the evolution of the planet, or whatever. By the way, my friends, after the meteor crashed on planet Earth and killed most of the dinosaurs, do you know which plant was one of the first that came out?
I know what this was. It was peanut M&Ms.
Lentils, my friend.
Of course it was lentils. Yeah,
of course it was lentils, man. It was the mock lentils.
Yeah.
Mock lentils. They are extra.
Do you know what that tells
cheese.
me? Do you know what that tells me? Everything that came after the dinosaurs is built on lentils.
Man, everything.
Everything.
The mamas were eating legumes. They were eating beans and lentils because they were so much in protein and everything, so they had to survive. So they were eating. Hey, don't take survival with the protein again, okay, babe? Anyway, I should change it. I should change it and say I love lentils. I'm gonna make it, man. I'm gonna make it. I love lentils.
I'm making a free lentil sign as soon as we finish recording. Let's go straight on. Let's go straight out the group.
I'm sorry. Can you send it to me?
You're getting it. Yeah. Free lentils ambassador.
Man. Free lentils ambassador.
My man, that I think we could have gone on forever then. It's so good to be back. We're going to wrap up episode 1 of series 2. It feels good to say episode 1 again. I don't know why. I think
God, back to 1. Yes.
Back to 1. I like that. We'll keep track. Episode 1, series 2.
Season 2 though. Season 2.
Season 2, yeah. It's been so good to talk again, man. I mean, I literally the last 3 weeks with my ear exploding. Every time I was in the car, and every time we went up a hill, it would just pop at the top, and I'd be like, wow, the pain was insane. I haven't really spoken to anyone for 3 weeks, so I could have just kept going for a long time now. So good to speak to you again, man. It's been too long. Let's get this thing rolling. So we're back. The Shaped by Gods podcast is back. We will get back into the flow of things, and we will get back into sharing you guys' stories and the king of lentils.
And the lentils.
If we can mention lentils every single week for the next.
I will. This is okay. Okay, we start season 2. We're gonna call it The Rise of the Lentils.
The Rise of the Lentils. I think there's got to be a lentil sponsorship in there somewhere, isn't there? Surely we must be able to get a sponsorship deal with a lentils company.
Man, I no offense to Freeletics, I would be the best sponsor for me. Like, I find a sponsor that can provide me an infinite amount of lentils.
Yeah. I think Freeletics, every now and then you need a rest day, and you go off track, and you need a few days off of Freeletics, but you'd never have a day off of lentils, man. That's a daily thing. Never. Unbelievable. If you could find a way
today I have red lentils today.
Do you ever have dessert? Lentil desserts? Is there such thing as a lentil dessert? Could you make a lentil brownie?
I'm gonna call it the lentils dessert. I'm gonna call it Lendlerd.
That is clutching at straws. That was Lendlerd.
Lentils and dessert combined. Lendlerd.
I got some bad news for you, my friend. I don't think it's going to catch on. I think you're going to have to rename it. You have to rename it. Right. Okay. So week 1, we're back. Angelo, Freeletics and Lentils ambassador from the USA. It's Oli, Freeletics and I don't know, sweet potato ambassador from the UK. Yeah, good to speak to you all again. get in touch. We'll get back on to the social media side of things. The first season, I know we just about had enough time to record it and edit it and release it. As far as marketing and you know, and sharing these things, because our main aim obviously is to provide value. That's the only reason we're here. We want to provide value to anyone who listens. If we can provide value to one person, I mean, I've already decided I'm going to run, so we've already achieved my mission. We've provided value to me.
Man, if I make one person to start eating lentils, that's all I need.
I've got to be honest, man. I bought some this week. I bought some this week for the first time. They're in the cupboard. I haven't got around to them yet, but you'll have to. I'll have to go share a recipe, and I shall get those red lentils cooked up. Okay.
I have many recipes to give you.
Good. Make it a savoury one. I don't want any lead alerts. I don't want a lead alert yet. Okay, right. Everybody, thank you so much. Thank you for listening. It's brilliant to be back. The Shaped by Gods podcast is back. We have returned. Beautiful. Tune in again next week for another episode. Thank you very much.
See you soon, everybody.